Hello and welcome to this third lecture of Remain or Leave. The topic this time is immigration and border control. As much as the economy matters, for many voters, the main concern is security and the kind of society they live in. This is where immigration and border control fit into the referendum on the UK's EU membership. These issues tend to bring out more emotive responses in comparison to the question of whether we will be a bit better off inside the EU or not. But in this lecture, I will leave aside the emotionally charged connection between immigration and British identity. Instead, I will focus on what EU membership means for UK's immigration and border policy and how this might change outside the EU. A key component of the single market is the free movement of people. EU member states have to accept that citizens of other EU countries have the right to study, to work and to access social benefits on the same terms as their own nationals. There is the possibility of preventing certain individuals from entering a country, but that's an exception based purely on individual circumstances. The net result is that the EU has greatly fostered the movement of people within Europe. In particular, workers and students are moving from areas with relatively high unemployment or low wages to more dynamic economies, of which the UK is definitely one. This phenomenon also occurs in non-EU countries such as Switzerland or Norway because they are obliged to accept the free movement of people in return for access to the single market. Certain European countries have chosen to go even further in their cooperation by creating a border-free travel area called Schengen. That means there are not supposed to be any passport checks on people moving between countries in that area. These countries also share common asylum rules, a system that's increasingly under strain as a result of irregular migration. But the UK, as explained in the first lecture, does not participate in any of these arrangements. The British Parliament is free to adopt whatever rules it wishes for regulating non-EU migration. That's simply not possible with EU migrants, a situation some consider too much of a constraint on sovereignty regardless of any potential economic benefits. In particular, there are concerns about pressure on public services and on quality of life. Responding to public opinion, David Cameron made curbing welfare rights for new EU migrants a top priority in his renegotiation. Hence, this lecture will explore the real significance of proposed changes in this area. In addition, I will evaluate the claims made by the pro-EU side to justify the current status quo that prevents Britain from setting limits on EU migration. The focus here won't be on quantifying the contribution EU migrants make to the UK economy. Rather, I will explore the question of whether the UK would have to accept the free movement of people principle, even in the event of a Brexit. Secondly, I will probe the argument that EU membership provides cooperation on security that would not be possible outside the EU.